Directors and teachers, my name is Tricia Gutman and I am from the Office of Teaching and Learning in the East Penn School District. We are here today to speak to you about the transition from your preschool classrooms into our kindergarten programming here at East Penn. This year we decided to do a screencast to reach everybody and also not have a face-to-face meeting as we do not have any curriculum updates. So today will be a review of our current kindergarten programming and ways in which you can support us in that relationship from pre-K to K. Our kindergarten classrooms, we have about 25 of them across our 7 elementary buildings. We have supports for all types of learners. We have emotional support, autistic support. We have co-teachers in our classrooms. We have speech, OT, PT. We have our ESL specialists, nurses, counselors, and psychologists. So really we surround all of our students in our classrooms. Our kindergarten classrooms are heterogeneously grouped with the average size about 20 students. In our sessions we have about arrival around 8:40, 8:45, going until 3:20, so a much longer day for these kiddos. But the kids really do a great job. We have a diverse population, culturally, economically, and experientially. So what does our program offer? We have time for differentiation. We have time for one-on-one supports, small group in both reading and math. We have inquiry-based instruction in both of our science and STEELs and social studies. And certainly our overall goal is to really ensure that we are creating problem solvers and critical thinkers that collaborate with one another, who are communicators, self-directed, and really engaged citizens overall. This is our day in kindergarten at a glance, from arrival to a morning meeting. Then we go into explicit phonics instruction. We have centers for small group to support students at different reading abilities, lunch, recess. We move into Heggerty, math. We have an intervention and enrichment block for both reading and math, which start typically at the beginning of the year with push-in supports, and then we form groups for the second half of the year. We do interactive read-alouds with culturally diverse books that really our students see themselves in. We have our science and social studies units. We have 3 units throughout our 3 trimesters. For writing, we do a narrative, an informational and opinion piece, as well as some explicit writing instruction. And we also have snack, and most importantly, purposeful play. In talking with our kindergarten teachers, one of the things that we talk about that is a need for throughout that whole day that I just described to you was for fine motor skills. Really looking for ways in your preschool classrooms to incorporate these skills, either in sensory play or in centers or in whole group. Really looking for them to be able to cut, holding scissors appropriately and manipulating paper, making sure they have a proper pencil grip, and talking about them practicing their lowercase and uppercase letters. We start with lowercase, and this really helps us to then move into the uppercase over time. So what does a learner look like? Well, what we are really hoping you can help us with, which I'm sure you're working on as well, is for our students to be able to follow directions, use respectful language, able to attend to tasks for small segments of time. We realize we will build that stamina in our students. Typically, they will have to have a stamina about 10 to 15 minutes at a time. Recognize other people's emotions, solve problems safely, and use play to explore their environment. So the more that you can help us model and practice these things daily in a play-like atmosphere, the better off they're going to be when they come to us in kindergarten. Also, in addition to those fine motor skills and some of those behavioral things we just talked about, really understanding name recognition, turning and talking, working cooperatively, Managing large emotions. We see that a lot of our students are coming to us who have very big emotions and don't have strategies to calm themselves down. We care more about that than them necessarily doing worksheets in preschool. We really want them to be able to manage their emotions so they are able to stay attentive in class. Conflict resolution and social emotional learning, really being able to read body language of others and know how to handle that. Following two-step directions and life skills. Are they able to blow their nose, zip up their coats, use the restroom independently, snapping buttons, zippers, the whole 9 yards? If you could support us in that, that will make our kindergartners more ready for the learning environment. We also, like we said, attention, trying to have them to be able to sit for a story time at a carpet for about 10 to 15 minutes. So when we're talking about math instruction in kindergarten, we use our iReady math program, which explores the 4 domains that are listed here. We also have centers where the students who may be struggling in specific things will work with a teacher, or if students need to be enriched, they will be working with a teacher. And then the students will be doing other activities around the room, including our iReady iPad instruction, which is differentiated based on a diagnostic that they take. So, what can you do to help us in those 4 domains that were listed? Counting to 10 would be great. Anything with groups of 10, base 10, number sense, and comparing. Shape recognition is a huge thing. A lot of our students come to us without knowing their basic shapes, numbers and operations, basic addition and subtraction. Certainly not looking for any kind of math fluency, but with manipulative, showing them different ways to make groups of 10. Patterns, which is basically algebraic concepts. Are they able to see patterns over time? How many reds until a blue? Are they able to see the pattern in different squares or numbers or shapes? And certainly measurement, just measuring themselves against someone else, not necessarily getting into inches or feet, but just large gross motor measurement. So really, the more you can use manipulatives, the better off they will be, because you're really teaching them that number sense, that those symbols of a number with those addition, subtraction signs and equal signs, they all stand for something visual and not something abstract. And so base 10, anything to do part, whole, to show them how our numbers work. When we're talking about literacy, really, early literacy begins in your classrooms. Promoting any kind of oral language is fantastic for our kiddos. Vocabulary, learning words, what they mean, building background knowledge around that. Phonological awareness and that overall arching umbrella of that for phoneme awareness, in that they are able to hear and distinctly understand the sounds in our language. So if I would say sat, sip, and sauce, you know that the beginning of all of those words make the s sound. Are they able to attend to that? Do they understand that without even looking at any letters? Or if I would say rat, pat, and flat, that all of those words rhyme. Really important for them to be able to hear distinctly our language before we get into print awareness. And then, of course, starting to look at letters and what those letter sounds are. Certainly for comprehension, just modeling think alouds during a read aloud of what you're thinking and being an active member in thinking about what the story is telling us. So for our programming, we have that whole group and small group instruction, the I do, we do, you do model. During the whole group, we're reading an interactive read aloud. We're doing some think alouds with some comprehension skills. We have our Hegarty phonemic awareness program that we talked about just above, where they have to isolate sounds, rhyming. There is a pre-K Hegarty program that we suggest you look into, which would be very valuable for you to utilize in your classrooms before they get to us. And then our whole group phonics is through Wilson Foundation's program with explicit phonics instruction. And again, that comprehension awareness. You will see in the email that is sent to you that we have linked this YouTube video of the kindergarten letter sound instruction so that you can hear how we clip the sounds. We don't say ba, we say b. So that really helps us when kids are learning to blend. So we put this video in here for you so that you can review and say the sounds basically the same way that we're clipping them. That would be very helpful for us. Moving on, you're going to see here our Foundations sound and letter cards. This is something that you can certainly have in your classrooms as well because it would support the same instruction. Also, you will see we have Baby Echo and we have our Mama Owl here, and they make all the sounds for the kids as they learn the sounds of the letters. You also see here to the right, this is our handwriting tool for letter formation. So they use the sky line, the worm line to really make the letters. You will see that in the email that is sent to you. We gave you some of those sheets. If you would like to use that as well, that would really support us in handwriting and letter formation. This just goes into a little bit more about what our foundations do. So we get into print concepts, sound mastery, handwriting, spelling, phonics, a little bit of phonological awareness, and trick words. What are trick words? Trick words are basically those words that we cannot sound out because they don't mean the phonics that we use in our daily lives. So the word the doesn't follow a phonics pattern. So we do teach them some of those trick words throughout the year. If you remember, I mentioned that we have a meetup in the morning. This is where we use our Harmony SEL program. There is a pre-K curriculum. Highly suggest getting it. It's free. You can go online to get it. And really, this is what's necessary for the social emotional opportunities to help our students really follow that CASEL framework. Here are the characters that go along with the Harmony. Z, who's in the middle here, he's our main guy who always is working with the other students that you see here in solving conflicts and working with others, learning empathy, learning how to share. There's 4 total units that we do with our kindergarten students, and we have found that by implementing the SEL Harmony program, we see a lot less behaviors in our classrooms, so highly recommend that in your preschools. And purposeful play is also a very important part. You'll see here that we have 30 minutes. To be in all honesty, it has whittled down, unfortunately. We're lucky if we get 20, 25 minutes. But really, this is, again, a workshop model where we introduce play strategies. We can't assume that students know how to play with one another anymore. So really modeling in stations set up and around in a room. It might be a kitchen station. It might be a hospital station. It might be a sensory table where students are working together and the teacher is really modeling what that should look like. This has really also helped with behaviors in our classrooms. So we suggest really looking at the book called Purposeful Play. If you need a copy, reach out to us. It has really helped us in really establishing that framework for play in our classrooms, which has helped us with our CASEL framework. So I mentioned CASEL framework a couple times with Harmony and with Purposeful Play. And this is what the CASEL framework is built on. So in social emotional learning, we're really helping our kindergartners develop self-management skills, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, social awareness, and relationship skills. So those are embedded throughout the Harmony lessons, which you will find in the pre-K program as well. And then we really value using that same language in our purposeful play time frames. So we really are hoping that you can support us with that fine motor, but also that large motor skills, really working with them to be playing with things, moving around. We find that now that our kids have electronics and iPads and phones, they aren't moving as much. And really, that ends up becoming an issue because they do not have those sensory and physical motor skills necessary for executive functioning. And so, pincer grip activities are helpful. Large development, jumping, skipping, hopping, all those little things that really help us in regards to future academic success. Many studies show that the kids have to have that midline in understanding their bodies to be able to be successful in the classrooms. I appreciate that I just went through our whole program with you quite quickly. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can see my email there under T. Gutman. Abby Karam is also our grade level leader at the kindergarten level, so she is insightful and helpful when it comes to things that are happening on a day-to-day basis in the classroom. Also, in the email sent to you, not only is the Heggerty video linked for you, but the handwriting sheets for foundations, as well as this presentation for you to click on any links that may be available to you. In addition, I have included a flyer and a brochure that you can hand out to parents or caregivers of any of your preschool students who will be joining us next year. Thank you for your time.